Hello children, my name is Jungle Joan and I will be here to share with you the adventures of Cora and Flora. You'll have seen them in our clip at the beginning, but here we are, Chapter 1, Arrival in the Jungle and an Unexpected Encounter. The steamboat chugged up to the landing stage perched on the edge of the river. Cora and Flora looked eagerly into the jungle, ready to start their adventure. The jungle itself seemed to loom over the landing stage, hiding its secrets. I couldn't tell you if Cora wore cords or Flora was wearing a floral shirt, but it wouldn't surprise me. At last we're here! We can start to find out why this jungle is in such a mess, said Cora. We need to work out how to get it back to being a thriving place. It's a good job we found that ancient manuscript, replied Flora. I hope we can find people to guide us on the way. They climbed out of the boat onto the landing stage and shouldered their backpacks. A simple mud path led into the jungle ahead of them. Behind them, they could hear the boat chugging away, and all around them the sounds of the jungle. A deep breath, and they started along the path into the gloom of the forest. According to the manuscript, we need to find out where the king is and what he's like. He should be in this jungle deep in the forest, said Flora, looking at an old map they'd found with the ancient writings. Find the king, said Cora. That could be easier said than done. Ahead, the path seemed to lead into a small clearing. Shafts of sunlight broke in through the canopy, making some of the foliage bright, glossy green. One of the green branches seemed to slide to the ground, revealing a bright gold eye. Find the king, you say? Not as hard as you would think, said a smug voice. Ah! Cora and Flora leapt at the unexpected voice and turned round to see an enormous snake looking at them. So sorry, my appearance does that sometimes to my subjects. Your subjects? Said Cora and Flora together. You mean you are the king? The king of the jungle? The snake smiled depreciatingly. Oh, some say so. So kind of you to recognise me. I like to keep in touch with the others, you know. Make sure they're doing things right, following my commands, that type of thing. Flora looked at the map. Cora looked at the manuscript. They looked at each other. They looked at the snake. He really was a magnificent specimen. Glossy green scales of bright gold eyes, but quite jewel-like in appearance. I thought the king was in his temple, said Cora, undecidedly. At least, that's what the manuscript said. Oh, that old thing. They don't need to take any notice of that. That's a load of rubbish. Well, the temple's not all it's cracked up to be. Oh, you know, I left that ages ago. All the better to see my people and tell them what to do. They're always getting things wrong, you know, making mistakes. Oh, it's the only way they'll learn. I have to repeat myself so much, you know. So they get a real understanding of just how useless they really are. No, said Flora, looking over Cora's shoulder at the manuscript. It definitely says the king will be in the temple as a judge. I judge them all the time, said the snake. And as a saviour, continued Flora. Oh, don't worry about that. These subjects of mine, they're far too gone to be saved. I just like to make sure they know what they're like, you know. Friends who let each other down. Lie to keep each other on top, you know, that kind of thing. Well, I'm not sure that's right, said Cora. Who'd want to follow a king who makes you feel bad all the time? Are you sure you left the temple? You weren't thrown out for being nasty? It's a lie, yelled the snake. I went because I wanted to. Nobody made me go. I don't think we believe you, said Flora. The manuscript has always been trustworthy to this point. It got us this far in the jungle, so we're going to go on trusting it. Fool, said the snake. You should have me as your king, and I tell you, you are fools. Well, replied Cora, I'd rather have a king who looked after me and made sure I was okay than one who told me I was rubbish. I don't believe you are the king of the jungle. You will hear from me again, said the snake, sliding off into the undergrowth, hissing as he went. Well, what a start, said Flora. Where do we go now? We still don't have a guide. The map says the temple of the king is deep in the jungle, so I guess we go deeper in. Where the snake had slid away, they could see that his body had blocked the entrance to a path that went deep under the canopy. Flowers were growing alongside the path as sunlight came down through the leaves, almost as though the way was laid out before them. Flora and Cora looked at each other. "Shall we?" they said, and stepped onto the path to see where it would lead them.